Hi folks, Doc Jake from Sioux Nation Ag Center here. You know, April showers bring calf scours. And what do calf scours bring? Bitterness, resentment, frustration, generalized sadness, things that we really don't like. So in order to get ahead of this mess, guys will sometimes ask me if there's something that we can feed to cows that will help prevent scours in their calves after they start calving. And for certain types of scours, there is an option available. Now, the specific type of scours I want to talk about today is cryptosporidiosis. Crypto, as it's most often called, is a very tough disease to have in your cow herd because it causes profuse watery diarrhea and has very few good treatment options once the calves actually get it. Now, we have been able to help in preventing crypto by using a product called Celmanax. With Celmanax, herds that I've worked with have had a reduction in the amount of calves that have broke with crypto. Now, the company that makes Celmanax has some data to back this up as well. Remember, we're talking about a reduction. Don't think that we're going to stop every single calf from scouring. However, if we can reduce the amount that are out there, it sure makes life a lot easier. So Celmanax is a refined functional carbohydrate. That's a fancy phrase, meaning it's a fancy yeast product. What Celmanax does is it gets into the gut of the cow when the cow eats it and binds with the crypto bug. This prevents the crypto bug from attaching to the intestinal cells of the cow, which means without being able to attach the intestinal cells of the cow, the bug can't reproduce. By not being able to reproduce, less crypto is shed in the environment. Because there's less crypto shed in the environment, that means less scours ends up showing up in your calves.
To understand how feeding Celmanax to cows helps prevent scours problems in calves, consider this visual example. In every cow herd, there's always a few cows that are shedding crypto. That crypto ends up on the ground. When the first calves are born, even if they're born to a different cow than the one that was shedding, they end up coming in contact with the crypto that's there on the ground. These first calves end up getting a subclinical infection, which means it's an infection where we can't see the fact they're actually infected with crypto. Because of this, they shed a lot of crypto on the ground. Now, subsequent calves that are born into an environment that has a higher level of crypto on the ground. This means they get a higher loading dose of the pathogen, which means they end up getting more sick and showing more symptoms of a crypto scours infection. These calves in turn, once they get ill, also shed crypto in a higher amount than the first calves did. This means that the tail ender calves that are born into a highly contaminated environment. This makes it so they have the most severe signs of scours and an increased rate of mortality. The ideal with Celmanax is by binding the crypto in the cow at the very beginning, we significantly decrease the amount of crypto that's shed on the calving area. This means that we stop this whole process of multiplication before it really gets a good start. By reducing shedding in the cows before calving even starts, calves are born into a cleaner environment. This means we reduce the amount of shedding that the calves do, keeping the environment more clean throughout the calving season, which means we also see less scours throughout the calving season. Look at those happy, healthy little calves.
Now, for best results to decrease that contamination level, you should start feeding Celmanax 45 days prior to calving. This way, it's got time to bind all the crypto that could be available in the cows, so the area that calving occurs on will be clean.
I'm sure if generic rancher Ron were here right now, he'd have a question for us.
Well, hey, Doc. Hey, where can I get some of that Celmanax?
Generic rancher Ron, are you living in the picture?
Not sure what you're talking about, because I think maybe you pocket dialed me, Doc.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. Well, to answer your question, Celmanax is available at your local Sioux Nation Ag Center. You see, Celmanax comes in so low of a dose, it's only a few grams per head per day, that it's much easier to give it to your cows if it's pre-mixed in your mineral. This way it gets distributed evenly. So if you're looking for mineral that already has Celmanax in it, just reach out to us at Sioux Nation Ag Center. We can help keep those cows fed to keep those calves healthy, which will help feed that bottom line.
But Doc, I'm not feeding my bottom line. I'm feeding my cattle.
It's just a catchy phrase, generic rancher Ron.
Okay.
It causes a lot of watery diarrhea, and there's not
Ooh, don't move. Stay right where you were. Otherwise, it'll look dumb on camera.
Now for the brand. Come on, get back to work, Jake.
Well, to answer your question, generic rancher Ron, Celmanax is available from your local Sioux Nation. The Sioux Nation?
Sioux Nation. We keep your feet covered. I'd add that.
Now, Celmanax is a refined functional carbohydrate. That's a fancy phrase for a fancy... Yeah, I don't have anything funny to say there.